we have a challenge to our moral imagination. And understanding that so much is at stake, unless we can bring about a rapid change, is the essence of the ethical challenge that we face. One of the ways that we here in the United States of America turn the corner and start moving an issue into the mainstream and into the moral dimension and taking it out of the political framework is when the most respected and most successful business leaders in corporate America stand up and provide moral leadership and demonstrate how that kind of ethical commitment can be made completely consistent with the task of corporations to make money for shareholders, to serve the broader community by bringing goods and services at a market-determined price that moves our society and civilization forward. Jeff's decision to launch Eco-Imagination in 2005 was a real turning point for American business. There have been many businesses that have provided leadership, and I don't want to shortchange the pioneers or in any way diminish the leadership that others have provided. But General Electric has a position in corporate America that allows it to capture the attention and the imagination of people all over the world. And when Jeff Immelt decided to make the business case for taking action, a lot of other business leaders who had not theretofore taken a good hard look at the economics of this challenge began to do so. Jeff has done a tremendous amount to make the case in the mainstream business community for early action on global warming. That took vision and courage and leadership. And it is for those reasons that on behalf of the World Resources Institute Board, I'm very pleased to honor Jeff Immelt for corporate leadership on environmental issues. Jeff, come on up.
You know, I do lead a company that has been around for 125 years. When you've been around for 125 years, you do collect a few Superfund sites along the way. And I always tell people that if Google reaches 100, Google will have a Superfund site someday. And so we live in this world, and we're a big corporation in this country and have been around a long time. But I'm here tonight really, and the case I would make is I'm here as a business leader that works for investors, that's responsible for customers and employees, that sees the world in a broader context, that knows that we have to be a good citizen, both today and in the future. And in 2004, when I was leading GE, I began to see in a number of businesses real technologies that had real applications about energy efficiency and environmental technology. And at that time, together with some of my GE colleagues, really tried to study the science, really tried to study the public policy, tried to study the trends. And I'd say inside our company, we became convinced that, and to do the things that we're trained to do. In other words, you come here tonight having studied the environment or public policy for a long time. You know, my training is to study science and trends and customer research and things like that, and that's what I bring to the party. And so the conclusion that we took over almost a year was that the science really around global warming was compelling, that the technology that could provide solutions was available, that customers wanted solutions, that while they might, you know, our customers might not want to see regulation, they wanted to be led, that society had reached a sea change, and that this activity, this leadership, whether we wanted to face it or not, was going to happen outside the United States without us, so that it was our job, we thought as a company, to get ahead of it. And it's as simple as that. We looked at it as a business problem, as a business opportunity, and I would say it was at that time in 2004 that we really collectively, we decided, our leadership team decided, that the opportunity to provide environmental solutions was going to be one of the big 4 or 5 themes of our generation of business leadership, and we didn't want to follow, we wanted to lead. So in 2005, we launched an initiative called Eco-Imagination, and in our own way, I think what we've stood for as a company and what's allowed us to last for more than 100 years is that we're performance-based, we're metric-based. We don't allow ourselves in many ways hobbies. In other words, I'm proud of our reputation for social responsibility, but when we can turn things into a business opportunity, that's when we can really shine. And so with Eco-Imagination, we really distilled it around 4 big themes that we thought were very measurable and very accountable. The first thing we said was between 2005 and 2010, we were going to double the R&D in more than 20 products that we thought were going to be key technologies for the next decades, and we wanted to be out front. And because of that, we've got world-class desalination technologies. We've got the most energy efficient and low emissions locomotives. We've got the best jet engines. We've got the best turbines. We've got a huge renewable portfolio of products. So we really doubled down on technology, number one. Number two, and quite surprisingly, we decided to reduce our own greenhouse gas emissions by 1%, or effectively 35% by net 1%. And with higher energy costs, that actually saved money. We thought this was going to be an expense. But because we did it, we're actually saving $100 million a year for our investors. The third thing we said we're going to do was we're going to be very commercial. We were going to try to double our revenue. We were going to try to establish a very strong position with our customers. And we went out to the marketplace in a very aggressive way. And I got to tell you, the results are fantastic. When in 2004, in the 20 Eco-Imagination products we outlined, we had $6 billion in revenue. In 2006, that's $12 billion in revenue. In 2006, we took $20 billion of orders in 20 Eco-Imagination products and have $40 billion of backlogs. So, I say at GE, really, we're just like any other company, except we have more zeros. $40 billion is a lot of money, even for GE. And the calculation I would say is for our investors, by 2010, this is going to be maybe 10 cents a share in the value of GE. And the last thing we said we'd do is we're going to be transparent. So we publish how we're doing, we publish our goals, we publish that we want to be active, and we also, not just in the United States, but around the world, have helped shape public policy, because we think if there's a way to let the market work in this country around environmental technology, that there's so much technology out there that can solve problems. The information already is getting to the consumer level. The younger, if you go people less than 30 years old, they're very aware of the environment, they're very aware of the data. College students today are learning about all this stuff in real time. And so I think, you have a population that is very environmentally aware, and the internet just is an incredibly powerful tool to get this kind of information to them. So I think the combination of all those things means that the population of this country is becoming more aware of where the technology is and where the science is. Look, I'd say, I've worked for GE for 25 years, and for most of my career, the environmentalists and business people have been at war with one another. If there's a way to make money, in other words, if you can profit by driving technology that solves global problems, there's nothing wrong with that.